Firstly, thank you for the great work you've been doing, informing the people of Liberia on this very unique national contributing platform of Bromford FM. Thank you for the work you've been doing. I've now come here. I remember peace to his ashes.
The late Mama Didiaki.
When Diakite was here, he wanted me to come, but there was no time. Well, to see you guys keep the dream alive is laudable. So thank you for being there and always informing the Liberian people in a very balanced way. So thank you.
Again, congratulations on your win. In the elections, the October elections. Since we have not had the time to have an interaction, it's great having you again.
Well, thank you. I remember when I won the chairmanship of the party. I said to myself, I'm not going to go to Kevin's studio until I win the national election. So
why? Why? I mean, this is news to me.
I will tell you after this. But yes, it was. There are some stations that I felt that it was good to win the national election first. It's nothing personal, actually. It's just a matter of principle. So, but I'm glad to be here and having led the party to elect President Boakai. Is a good feeling that we can put in everything we could to rescue our country from going down the hill. The path it was really taken, and I'm glad to be a part of that history to elect President Boakai for the new Liberia.
And so, folks, on that note, it's our pleasure again to have the national chairman of the ruling party, Reverend Luther Tarpeh, here in our studio. You heard his opening comments. Again, we want to say thanks and welcome to Prime FM. First of all, let's start off.
Thank you.
Before we talk about the arrest agenda, what do you look forward to in the years ahead? We want to start the conversation from the beginning. How did it happen? You care to do a rollover? With all of the makeup politically, I'm talking about the merger, the collaboration, the coalition, and then at some point there were divorce, there were breakups. At some point, the perception politically was that you could never have made it in these elections with the cracks in the coalition and the political marriages. And at the end, you won. You care to tell us how did it happen? How did you get here first?
Well, Calvin, I tell you, to be able to re-collaborate the Unity Party and position it to be a winning party was not a stroke in the park, as they would say in America. It was not a child play. It took a lot of thinking. It was brain work. It took collaborative efforts of Liberians who believed that it was time for the country to be heading in the right direction. Unity Party, after Madam Salif, when President Weah took over, no one thought that Unity Party would be able to resuscitate her political path and help the nation to be breathing the sun of clean air in such a time like this. So it was hard. There was a party that was really divided in the middle in many ways. There were some who wanted the Madam Sally fashion, the Joseph Walker fashion.
Yeah, sure.
And with that kind of very alarming division, no one thought that the party would be able to re-collaborate to get to a place where it could put up a victory against an.
Did you actually ignite that divide? Did you see certain persons as the Madam Salih fashion and did not trust them and consider certain persons as the Boakai Knights?
Well, I'm just being very pragmatic. What we met on the ground was a huge divide. And when I took over, my first important leadership piece was, what do we do to reflect the creed of our name, Unity Party. We were to unite. We are to unite. And so I pay visits to, obviously, President Boyka now, my standard bearer, and I pay some, visit to Madam Salif, to let her know that we were here to unite the party. We played that role to be able to be a unifying force rather than dividing, because there was so much crack in there. And then, of course, being challenged financially, being challenged in many ways, but we're able to come together despite of all of these huge challenges to say, what is our strength? And the strength of the Unity Party is that we have a lot of educated people who love the country, people who could come together and say, let's draw this roadmap to victory. And my leadership style was that it's important in such a time where you have so much uh, uh, disadvantage at every level. The greatest thing you can do is to bring people together. So, with that posture, with that leadership piece, where we open the corridor for people who we felt could contribute meaningfully to this important political venture, we allow them the space to come in, suggest, and follow. And I'm a leader that once I know, Kelvin, that your idea supersedes mine, and your idea is good. I'm not going to say, oh, because Luther Tarpeh, I'm the head, and I'm going to. It must be my way. No, no. Being a leader does not give you that leverage. You have to listen to people. So I listened to people who I felt had something that I may not have from mine end, and we allowed them to open up that corridor. And we went into this collaboration with CPP, and you saw what happened. Um, we really thought, even including myself, I really thought that the CPP were going to work, but again, eventually it fell apart. But we knew, we were very optimistic that the only candidate in that CPP arrangement that could defeat President Weah was Joe Buckeye. It was.
You were very sure about
I
that?
was very sure. I'm very optimistic, unflinching about it. I know it, and we knew that unless His Excellency Ambassador Buckeye was at the top of the ticket, George Weah will be a second-time president. We knew it. And so at different meeting, at that time I was mobilization chair. We have to take a vote to come out of the CPP. We did. And so people thought, oh, it's all gone. It's all flop. Nothing would come out of it. But again, we went back to the drawing board and tried to put our broken pieces together. Again, the brains, the educated political savviness of UP leaders kind of brought us to where, and my leadership style, come. Do you have an idea of what we can do? Come. Let's do it. Because we have to reflect the creed of our name as Unity Party. You can be Unity Party if you're divided. And so we provided our leadership, and that inspired our base. Our base was so inspired, to see that we were willing to work together despite of the challenges. And we pull it together. When people even never thought that Unity Party were going to, bring President Boakai to power. And today, and then later we found out that, okay, you know what, President, we are a young soccer celebrity who still have followers outside his political career. There were a lot of people who still follow him. And so we needed to still build.
You didn't ignore that reality.
No, you just be a fool to do that, because as a politician, you have to always look at the reality. You can't close your eyes to the things that are real. President Weah at that time, even now, still have followers who, whether you feel politically, they will still follow him. We know that. We are aware of that. And so we felt that the best way to be able to move this rescue ship, to land it in the right direction for the rescue of Liberia, was to bring together like-minded political entities. And so we expanded the net, and then we have this side of the Liberty Party, the pro-tem side, and then our own friend Benana Yurakimi, and then he moved out. It was difficult because we and Honorable Ben worked together, But then for some reason, and then we thought that, okay, you know what, the best way to, if we are going to win this,
You can't tell us those reasons why
no, well,
the relationship
no,
sour?
no, he and I talk all the time.
Really? You still got?
Oh, of course, we talk. We even last week, he and I always talk. So I don't throw away friends. I wouldn't throw away friends. There was some reason why.
Does he and the president talk too as well?
I don't know. Maybe you can ask him that. But I talked to him.
No, but you're the best person to ask.
Yeah.
You and him talking.
Yeah. But I'm not a president.
Has he told you that?
Kevin.
I mean, is he trying to reach out to the president, or has he told you?
I think he's open to talk to anyone. I mean, of course, he's the president. President Boakai is the president for everybody, whether you like it or not. So I think he's very open. But at the point, they've been friends for years. You know what? Let me get out of that thing here. With Ben and the President Boakai, they will handle that. They are friends for years, for their family friends. So let's leave that. But again, he left, and Senator Kanga came with a group, and then we have other leaders coming in. And
Senator
DeLong, of course. The team started expanding, and the base were becoming very excited about this new arrangement. And then we get this type of rescue mission, and everybody said, "Oh, good, we have a type to rescue this country from drugs, from corruption, from poverty. We have this national agenda to rescue the country." And then the grassrooters like, okay, you know what? And I remember going to places at Calvin where you tell people, and my people, let's put President Boakai that he has worked in public sector for years and he have no record of corruption. He's going to fix all of the perennial issues that we face as a country. Let's see what we can do. And people say, okay, you know what? I will print my own T-shirt. I will do that. So it was the people's revolution. It was the people driving the rescue train, not so much of what we gave them, and I owe it to the Liberian people too, from the depths of my heart, that the believers, they were able to print their T-shirt, they were able to go out. I would never forget this one little story, Kelvin, of a young man that I came to town, and he had these stickers. I don't know where he got them from, but he was walking on the same Benson Street area. He was walking and walking. I saw him distributing these things and stickers and talking to people about the rescue mission. And then he got to a place where I was in my car just sitting down. He didn't know I was in. I'm the chairman. And I saw this young man engaging more than 3, 4, 5 persons, and it came to a point where he stopped and he wanted to drink water. And he tried to get the money from his pocket, and apparently he never had enough.
Wow.
Yeah, but I saw him walking from a distance, almost a mile. I saw him coming. And then they said, well, you're not paying me? They started harassing him. And, they checked the first pocket, checked the second, checked the third. Apparently there was no money. Then I said, these are the people for who we are going to win this election. Ordinary Liberians who were going into the trenches with our money, who are making all the sacrifices to make President Boakai president, because they know that when you become president, this country will be fixed. And when I saw the woman harassing, I have to rescue him. I had to come out of a car and pay for his water and thank him. Then when I got in the car, that's when I introduced myself that I'm the chairman. I pull up. But it gave me a clear picture that there were many young men and women, older men, middle age, who were everywhere in every corner, carrying the rescue message to make sure that President Boakai become president. And today, the dream has been realized. So it was not an easy path. It was a path of resilience, a path of collaborative efforts. It was a path that every Liberian in every nook and cranny of our nation contributed, and we owe it to them. I want to say thank you.
A few other slides about the elections, and then we go into the governance that you have already, the Madam Salih's involvement. At some point, we heard that there was this sour relationship between she and the stand-up bearer, the political leader of the party, then former president, and her former vice president, Wenaku. Just edging to the elections, we heard that they were able to cement their relationship.
Oh, yes.
Care to tell us about that? Did anything happen, and did they reconcile?
Look, let me tell you.
What was Madam Salih's involvement?
President Salih and Madam and President Boakai have been friends for many years, more than spanning over 40 to 50 years. But our Liberian people, between two leaders. Sometimes the problem of our country is they too much they say, and people carry news between leaders. It kind of sour their relationship. But President Soli and President Boakai, they have utmost respect for each other. And so during the first round, second round, I know before the second round, there was, I can't tell go all the details, but I know that there were times that their path crossed, and President Seli, being an international acclaimed leader of Africa and the one who is the face of Liberia out there in the world, I'm very sure she knew that the country was heading in the wrong direction, and she knew that President Boakai would be the right person. So I have no doubt in my mind that President Shirley was having a soft spot towards us, especially our party, of course. Come on, that's a party. So what you do, you expect her to do. So I believe that she was able to, find a way around and, and encourage us. And so I'm aware that President Shirley, though has some rough starting in some, during President Buya time. But at a point, they are all mature leaders. They were able to mend their fences.
She was reprimanded by the Unity Party before.
Yeah. Yes, the record.
She was reprimanded.
Of course.
What's the status of the reprimand?
Oh, but she was reprimanded when I took over.
Did I expel her from the party? Or suspended her, either of them?
At a point, yes, I think she was. But we have lifted all of that. We opened the corridor, and I said to you when I became chairman, I visited her, and I said, "Look, Madam Salif, this is your party. Unity Party is your party. You cannot turn your back on your party, and I'm here. Whatever happened in the past, it happened in the past. You need to come alongside as our mother, as our former president. We need to move the party forward." I made that commitment to her, and that's my nature. I like to bring people together, to move this project together. And so with that move, I believe that those who were following her knew that Luther Tarpeh was not a very radical poster guy who was there and driving everybody away. So I believe they kind of felt comfortable with me. And, I started talking to people around her because we needed to get this thing done. The country was heading in the wrong direction. Whatever the case, we good now. We good.
Mr. Boakai, then as the standard bearer of the Unity Party, in his quest for the presidency, did not visit all parts of Liberia. Is concerning. Well, why didn't he? Is there any explanation about
No,
that?
not any personal reason to my knowledge. I think part of the major hindrance why the president could not visit, especially during the campaign, was the road condition, especially the Southeast. We went to the whole Northeast. We went to the West. We went to Central Liberia. We could not go to Southeast. And Kevin, it's so appalling to know that at that time of the campaign, that people from the Southeast, the way they can only access more of it is to go through Ivory Coast. That's shameful. When have you seen Ivorian coming through Liberia to go to access a part of their country? The road was so impossible. The things were not. But right now, you see, President Barker said, when I became president, 100 days, cars will not be stopped. He was not saying he's going to perform a miracle and put quota everywhere. But he's going to get rid of all these hurdles that create an impediment for vehicles and bikes to move. And look at it. You've been seeing on Facebook what is happening in the service. The roads are being rehabilitated. You see it being created all the time. And it's refreshing to know that our people don't have to anymore pass through Ivory Coast to come, but they can go through those roads. And those roads will be better. He always said to me, he said, Chairman, the Southeast have produced a lot of presidents, and yet President Boakai will be the one to take quota over there. I believe it. I know he's going to do it. So you see, Southeast roads, they are being rehabilitated. So yes, he couldn't go there because of the road. We couldn't fathom that the incoming president will have to go through Ivory Coast to access his country. That's shameful. But that's beyond us now. He has a plan to go around and do a thank you visit to all of the different counties, and of course the Liberian people will see their president.
So, of course, talking about the arrest agenda, one of the key issues raised during the campaign was to make pliable the roads and accessible to every part of Liberia. What is that statement? Because there are different versions, and some of the versions, of course, you've heard was that it means that car will not get stuck in the mud. That one, two. Some people say there will be quota. Even small car can go to Grand G, there, River G, to the most difficult parts of our country, the southeast. But you are the person best suited to interpret that a statement issued by the president. What is that statement?
Look, I was there sitting by the.
Because we're almost at 100 days.
I was there sitting by the president. I remember on that campaign when he said, look, when I become president in 100 days, there'll be no car struck in the mud. Well, social science has a lot of interpretation, theories. When he sat down, he said, look, Tarpeh, when we were in power, we had engineering teams dispatched in different regions of the country to ensure that vehicles are not struck. We're going to do that. And so he was talking about making the roads pliable, roads where smaller cars will even go during the rainy season. And that's why you see the Ministry of Public Works has embarked on this very robust journey of removing the mud. I'm from Rivers, that's my county. You could see ditches where the small car could not enter. Go and see it right now. Cars can easily go there to Sano. Look, President Bwaka meant I will make sure that in 100 days, roads that are impossible with small cars, motorcycles will not be. I will make sure I'll make it accessible that everybody can be able to drive there. He was not talking about quota. I mean, come on. No man in their right senses will say in 100 days I'll be. Even America doesn't have the ability in 100 days to build quota everywhere around the country. It's not possible. He was only saying, I'm going to remove the mud. We're going to put an engineering team in every region to get rid of all these things. That was exactly what he meant, not quota. Even though he has planned to make sure that quota go to the southeast, and he's resolved to make that happen. But for now, the roads are pliable.
Are pliable?
People can go there. People can go.
Have you gone there?
I've seen it on Facebook. I haven't gone there.
Facebook? The chairman of the party says he sees it on Facebook. I don't know, but you need to visit.
I will, Kevin. I will.
I don't get that part. Facebook?
What wrong with Facebook? What wrong with Facebook?
Facebook will not show the entirety of all of the counties, the critical areas. You did not go there during the campaign.
But
I'm not speaking about Mr. Bwaka. It is clear that Mr. Bwaka did not go there during the campaign. You also did not go there during the campaign.
No, I went from some of the places. I didn't go everywhere.
So where did you visit?
I went to Rivers.
Rivers?
I went to Rivers. I couldn't go beyond Rivers.
Okay, so the southeast is a wide stretch.
I couldn't go beyond
lots of critical areas. I would have thought that, because next month, I stand to be corrected, next month, we're supposed to be completing the 90 days of the Unity Party.
Yeah.
So by now, the Unity Party should not just be relying on pictures from public works or social media.
So I shouldn't rely on my minister, the minister of public works.
After the 100 days,
come on, Kevin, I should not.
Okay, but it's good.
When my minister told me that, I should not believe my minister.
You shouldn't believe. So an assessment, because you will be confident that as chairman of the party, I'm accessing these critical areas. I've been to the southeast. I've seen that there's a possibility.
There are plans to want to do that. Next time I'll be here, I will come there with pictures.
What has the public works minister tell you? Can we achieve the 100 days pliability?
Well, it's a lofty idea. It's a lofty vision, and I'm very sure that few days from now, usually generally I know you're doing your roll call every day, but a few days from now, we will be in the 100 days.
Let's say the 100 day ends when you do the end of this week. What? Okay.
So you're talking about 90 days.
So this is key. The end of this week has showed us that car will not get stuck in the mud. Even a sedan can go into the southeast.
But please, let the main road roads that connect county to county. Don't talk about farm road. We're not.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah. I know River Says is already there. I know that Sano Road is on the River G, the Grand G. I know work is going there. I am aware. I talk to people there. My county chairs come to town. The regional with them, chairman. So I know work is going. Are we going to achieve that? Well, you see, in the whole thing, when you talk about the 100-day plan thing here, it's almost like the beginning of every semester. I'm aiming to score A plus in Introduction to International Relations. That's your lofty idea. And then the teacher give you the assignments, the quizzes, the presentations, and instead of getting A plus, you got A minus. They say, okay, you know what? This was my goal, but I got an A minus. I think we're going to get an A minus in that regard because the Minister of...
You're going to get an A minus?
I think so.
What does that mean? That you may not achieve?
There's a possibility. I'm saying anytime there's a national vision, there is a lofty idea that you intend to achieve.
Okay.
But in all of your efforts you make towards that, you may not meet 100% because we are human beings. We are human beings and institution run by human beings that put limitation on us. But the heart is there, and I'm very sure that the Brembe will see that.
We'll open the lines. We'll look forward to the listeners. Some of you who have visited since the inception or recently the southeastern parts of our country to give us an assessment, honest assessment of what you saw to as well. Let's go to the Senator Prince Johnson and the Unity Party relationship. It is clear that it is sour. What has happened? How do you intend to proceed? What is the president saying about that relationship, the sour relationship? Do you intend to re-cement? Do you intend to, look, listen, we're not going to take Mr. Senator Johnson, we're not going to trust him. We're not going to do business with him again. He disrespected their presidency. He disrespected the mandate of the Unity Party. His support cannot be trusted. Where are you on that relationship?
Well, to be honest with you, Kevin, we respect Senator Johnson, and we own the victory to Nimba, to him, so dearly.
You mean 2023?
23, yeah. He played a very perfect role that nobody can take away from him, so we own that to him. We know that after we took over as a party to rule the country, especially around this war crime issue, something we saw, some dilly-dallying in some steps. But as of what I know, Senator Johnson, though say in Nema County that he was supporting someone else against our own candidate. But at the same time, when Nyantuan won, he was the first to do a post on the Facebook with a congratulation from him. So look, let me tell you.
It doesn't mean that he supported. He didn't support.
Well, I mean, but
Mr. Braga
he demonstrated.
Mr. Braga would have done the same if the CDC had won the election.
I wouldn't say Senator Johnson is totally bitter against the Unity Party. I wouldn't go to that level.
You don't pick up his calls. According to him, you don't talk to him. You don't give him access to the presidency.
Yeah, I talk all the time.
And you,
when did he tell that?
He said that in interviews. He's not okay. When was the last time did he, since the election, has he and the president sat to have a conversation against? We're not talking about you. Yeah, we are talking about the presidency, and you are close to the presidency. You have unhindered access to the presidency.
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, you have the ears of the president. You have proximity. That cannot be questioned. You are the ruling party. But tell us the relationship between Senator Johnson and His Excellency.
Well, in one of my conversations with Senator Johnson, he referenced his visit to His Excellency.
When?
I can't remember. That was
when Mr. Baka became president?
Yes, he referenced it. I mean, he referenced it that he went to see the president.
Okay.
Yeah, so he referenced it. I know that he referenced it.
And did the president confirm that to you?
No, I did not ask the president. But I know that Senator Johnson is not going to tell me things that are not true. He's not going to make a story. He has access. I mean, the vice president is his son. So he's a respectable leader of the people of Nemba County. In my opinion, I don't see any impediment on why. Maybe if they are, then not to my knowledge. But at least the reference to me that he has mentioned some issues with the president. They talked about something. So maybe in recent time, in reference to the Nimba senatorial, I can't say for sure because we've all been very busy with that. But finally, when Yantuan won, he congratulated. So if there's a problem, then maybe I will know it and see what.
This ties into the conversation about war and economic crimes code that must have stemmed the bitterness between Senator Prince Johnson against the president. What was the conversation between the Unity Party and Senator Prince Johnson? Was there an assurance that he will be protected against the implementation of a war and economic crimes code establishment in our country?
Kelvin, when we finally sealed our relationship with the people of Nimba through Senator Prince Johnson and Senator, at that time, Senator Jeremiah Kong, it was about it. The focus was on what we can do as a nation to help our people, the young people, to get out of drugs, provide jobs opportunity, help the country to be respectable international scene again. These were the things that we were focused on.
Those were the proposals of the Unity Party.
Yes.
In that conversation between yes. Senator Jeremiah Kwan and that. Senator
yes, these were the things we were advancing. And we were on the same side. The issue of the raw crime, they think gained traction in the lower house, okay? And then
before we go there, what did he say to you? The Unity Party proposed among several issues. The rescue agenda focuses on agriculture, the fight against drug and substance abuse, corruption,
the rule of law.
The rule of law.
Yeah.
And then what did Senator Prince Johnson tell you?
I cannot remember.
Especially in relation to war and economic crimes.
I cannot remember having a conversation with him on that.
Perfect. But did you say to him that, hey, listen, we know that you detest strongly the establishment of war and economic crimes court, and as such, the Unity Party is not going to pursue the establishment?
No, I cannot remember having a conversation with him on that.
With that, what is the Unity Party's position? What is the president saying? What is the Unity Party saying?
Well, you see, this whole water economic crime code, it gained momentum in the lower house. The traction gained, it became so progressive and speedily. To my surprise, to be honest with you, to my surprise, I was not here. I was out of the country when that momentum was being built. And I was like, okay, you know what? Minus early time, there was a lot of noise about this water economic crime code. President, we had time, too much noise. Maybe that's the same political noise. To be quite honest, I was shocked to see that in just short time, the House was able to pass it, Senate was able to pass it. Now remain the president to give an executive order.
What does the president want? In spite of all of these, the president must have a position. If he wants, he gets.
He's listening. I cannot preempt at this point. But he's aware that the lower house have passed that. The Senate also have given overwhelming support to that, including Senator Johnson himself, who even also signed it as well. You know that. So I think the president is looking at everything. He's studying it. He's seeing what, and in due time, the Liberian people will hear from him.
Okay. His name is Reverend Luther Tarpeh, the national chairman of the Unity Party, and he's here in a conversation for the first time on Prime FM. My colleague Vesely and I, we are jointly conducting this interview. So Vesely?
Yeah, Kevin, thank you. And let me say again, good morning to Reverend Tarpeh. It's, of course, a pleasure to have you here this morning. Not very often you find the chairperson of the ruling party.
Thank you.
Avail himself for these kinds of engagements. We appreciate this. I know Kevin has been able to, drill you through the post-election or maybe pre-election and immediate aftermath of the elections. I'm more concerned with governance because just during the last administration, there was this constant race between, in the CDC now, we from the media, we saw this. There's this line between the party and the government that most political institutions tend to not clearly define. How has the Unity Party been able to define, or in fact, the question is like this: has the Unity Party been able to define this line? And as the chairman of the party, what has been your input into ensuring that this line is kept?
A very good question. I think when you go into a historical reflection, the party and the government always have some altercation at some point. You know, it always been that way. But for President Bouakai, it's very clear. He knows and he's very much aware that the vehicle that delivered him to the Liberian presidency is the Unity Party. And from his appointment, you can clearly see that he has considered several key leaders of the Unity Party in his government. So that is that's a laudable step we have seen. But also we are aware we are also aware that we did not get here all by ourselves. We advocated for collaboration from other friendly institutions, and we want them to feel a share. We wanted to feel that they should be on the table in terms of position and stratification because of the role they have played. And so, but we are clear as a party that anything happen with this government, they're not going to hold rescue team. They're going to hold a united party. And we are very much aware of that. And so I remain engaged with the president, and I can say for sure that President Bouakai's heart is to leave the united party stronger, bigger, vibrant at the end of his presidency. And so we remain engaged. I'll make sure I see him every week and we discuss things that pertain to the party. And in a few months down the road, Liberian people are going to see what President Bouakai administration is going to do with the Unity Party. But I'll tell you, we remain engaged. The major thing, in my experience, vastly, is that once the president is there, he's taking care of the country. The party leader needs to remain engaged with the president and not be against the president, because at the end of the day, that is the vehicle that produces him, and he's very much aware of that. And so it's a learning curve for me, yeah, but I can say for sure at this point that President Bouakai remain very much engaged with the party. I meet with him, we discuss many things about the party every week, and I think it's going to continue like that in his regime.
Talking about the vehicle that produced the government, which is the party, there are human beings with an ambition to govern that made up the party. Now, that has transformed into being a government. So it means those human beings that propel that vehicle to governance will have to benefit as a result. And there is where particularly a lot of times there is the conflict. The conflict is, how do we balance those who brought us here, with the actual work that we have to do here? And I'm sure as chairman of the party, you come on a lot of pressure from those who were in the trenches, those who feel entitled, for lack of a better word, to this. How have you been able to manage this? Because I know behind the scenes is not easy. So how have you been able to manage it? And what is it that you get from the president every time you engage him with these concerns from partisans?
Okay, thank you. That's a good question. Look, let me say, to be quite honest, it's been a daunting task. My gray hair has increased in just three months' time. Because partisans who work so hard are now discussing on the table. And with all fairness to the president, he does not know everybody. But some of our collaborators think that they should have more leverage than the party itself, which we want to oppose. It can't be that way. You can't come to my farm help me to make the rest farm. Then when the red done, now you to come in to help me, you want to take everything. It can be. So that's the dilemma we are currently faced with. Some of them are more greedy than others. Let me be honest with you. Some of them are more greedy. They just think that because they were part of the rescue team, they must get everything. The party must say that. No. We are the political vehicle that delivered President Bouakai.
They helped without.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you can't help me on my farm. The red not done. the rice right now for us to have it. You want to carry more rice than me who own a farm? You can't do that. So they always put intense pressure on the president, thinking that they are the one that must cut the shot. And partisan, now I'm dealing with all of that around the country, and it's frustrating for me.
You cannot blame them,
Kevin,
because they saw the
Kevin,
the chairman also. They believe that the chairman was hustling for a job.
Kevin, good job.
The NTA was rumored that the president, the chairman of the party, wanted the NTA, the MPA, job so dearly. So they said, but leader who sold the E last, then why will we be sitting? We're not sitting. So other will hustle.
I wanted to ask that particular question, but I wanted him to end on that.
Look, I can sit on this platform and tell the Liberian people that some of the rescue people are more greedy than the others. They're trying to make us to feel that as a party, they should be able to do everything. I mean, I'm dealing with all of that. It's frustrating to me where people don't have that political consciousness to say, okay, you know what, we came on the table, but these people are the one that deliver. If you check the record, it's the Unity Party that have produced President Bwaka. We want to open up the space, but for you to open the space doesn't mean that you must open your heart for those who come to help you to take all of the juicy places and give you the dry bone. No, we're not going to accept that. But it's happening in many ways. And we are fine at that as a national chairman, because at the end of the day, we got to protect our people. We can't kill the party. But most of them are putting so much pressure on the president, and I understand what the spot he's in. He wants to, he's a man who appreciates what people did for him. And so, but some of them, sometimes you need to tell yourself, your greediness is getting overboard, man. Come on, control yourself more. When you don't have a conscience to control yourself, then it becomes a problem. You see, but we as a party, we believe that those who have come to help us, we should be able to reward them, but not at the detriment of our party. And that's what we are facing right now. Some of our things, the things that are supposed to go to our party, some people come and take it. They come and take it. I can't put all the blame on the president, but sometimes you have your own conscience. Look, Kevin, I can't do it wrong. My man, I see your food for your children. Yeah, I see for.
So what is supposed to be for the Unity Party and the other? You're divided.
My man, we still when we say they want your ticket. Yeah, man, take it. Then leave the other one for all. But you want to take everything. I completely detest that. I completely detest that. And as a chairman, I go to the party headquarters. You see partisans who are in the trenches, who work so hard. Now we are finding places, but you're not going to solve it. And so the president told me, chairman, you know what we did? We have to do this with so many people. It can be a winner-take-all situation. So we have to accommodate. He's more accommodating in his own leadership style.
Are you confirming that there's a fight for jobs?
Oh, it's an obvious thing. Yeah, I mean, it's not. That's a scramble
for
jobs. People need to improve their life. No one wants to go into political contestation and come back, and at the end of the day, you don't have a place to go and feed your family. Of course, it's a normal thing. So the scramble for job is huge. Is a national priority. I would say a national emergency. I would say because these people need to feed their family. Their kids need to go to school. They need to have a good life, and they need a job. But Liberia has been a country. I would say until every Liberian government learn to invest in the private sector, which will absorb the bulk of the population, it will be difficult for any government, even if you are Injo Gabriel, to be president of Liberia, you cannot provide job for every citizen of the nation.
Is this scramble for jobs causing a rift amongst leaders or top-level officials of the part of the arrangement, the rescue mission? Talking about influencers, political influencers. Is this scramble for jobs causing a rift amongst these people?
It's an inevitable proposition to see that people, you one day, I one day, we talk, and we shout at each other if the need be. Okay, but the fact of the matter is that let us understand that if we all did this work together, come on, get some little religious conscience that you can't take all. We the party too, we need some. There are men who may not be as big as you are, they also need some as well. So that ability to consider, the greatest commandment, the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You can't love yourself all the time. But the political thing is almost love yourself at all times. Let the neighbor go to the hell. No, we don't do that. So in our arrangement, we try to call on all of that. Look, you take this, I take this. And in the past few weeks, that is the conversation we've been having.
Is there a space for those who are not members of your rescue mission? Are you giving jobs to those who are not members of a rescue mission?
Oh, obviously, there are people. Let me see, on top of my head, there are people even in places that were not member of the rescue mission. Because President Brock, I believe, he will say to me, he said, "Chairman, I'm president for Liberia. I remain the standard bearer of Unity Party, but I took an oath to be president for Liberia." And he's not going to wish hunt. He's not going to do like our neighbor there on the other side. We're not going to wish hunt anybody in the way, but we're going to do whatever we can to unite the country because the country is divided. We saw the result of the election. It's a clear indication that the country is divided. So President Bwaga is doing everything through job stratification to make sure that the country unites.
Governance is this conversation. The future of the party with you being the head. I go back to my previous question. Do you intend to remain the chairman of the party, or you also have interest in some of the slots? Because I know the Secretary General now is at the LPRC. Yeah. Which is a very engaged position. I'm concerned on how he's going to manage the two institutions.
He's doing a very pretty good job.
I heard so, but that's why I'm concerned.
But you know, the secretary is not just one person. He has a secretary. There are a lot of people there who are doing work, and I go there Tuesday, Thursday at the party headquarters where I spend the whole day, and the other 3 days I used to say, man, I would bring my own things in.
Have you an interest outside of the party in government?
No, I want to manage the party.
You want to manage the party?
That's mine.
So if the president gives you a job, or I know you and the president have had a conversation before. Luther, I don't know, Reving, Chairman, other ways he calls you. The whole job in it, we're talking about where do you want to go? Did you have a conversation with him?
No, I'm not. Look, I did not come into this team.
And you never proposed? You don't have any?
I never come into this team for job.
Okay, perfect.
I've been in the private sector. I'm a reverend, I serve God, but I do a lot of business, and so I got to do my own things.
Okay, so on governance,
it's not.
I see you having a conversation on just. It looks like job scramble. A quest for job. I'm concerned about how do you intend to absorb other people who are not interested in government jobs into the private sector. Are you thinking about that?
Yes, Kevin. As I said, the only way we want to address the job emergency crisis is to grow the private sector. And right now, President Bwaka and his team are working on bringing companies because that's the only way.
Any prospect?
Yes, there are a lot of. I spoke with the investment commission, Mr. Blibo, and there are a lot of people because they know that the government is trustworthy. The government is ready to play the game of the international standards, and so people are seeing they are beginning to come. It's just a matter of time. Liberian people gave us from down to us in the next 6 months towards the end of the year. You're going to see how the private sector will start picking up traction to give jobs to Liberians. But to say government will bring job for everybody, it's not possible. We just have to understand that.
Yeah. Did you at any point in time do an assessment for the job at the NPA?
No.
You did not go to the NPA in any capacity as if to do an assessment for heading the institution.
Now this is it. Some news came from after we won the election that there were continuous leaving unaccounted for. Mm-hmm. No one was following any of the procedural administratively track. And so the president heard about it. So he asked me to go there and understand the whole thing that was going there. I went there to AMPA to understand, and I got information from the security of people who were trying to get things out of the port. Because at the end of the day, anybody thing get lost, they will say the government. And we were taking over. Mm-hmm. So the president said, okay, Chairman, you go there and find out this. And that was all that I did. Those that I met on that day, I only had a meeting with them and said, okay, please, this is what's going on. But I never went there to take over anything. The Liberian people just carry news that not true. I never, ever went to president that I wanted to be MPA director. I never did that. My position has been, after we win this election, I will take care of the party. I want to be the chairman that will rebrand Unity Party, build our party headquarters, make it robust and vibrant. I remain committed to that. My hands are full. Look, I know how government money tastes. I eat some here, so I know how it tastes.
Okay, so that
My mind have never been to sit down and eat government money. I'm a Liberian who believes that government is a place of service. It's never the place of making money. And then you get all kinds of news. The chairman to 1,000 eating, inauguration money, all kinds of crazy stuff. But you know what? We have to. That's the society we live in. People indict you before hearing you.
let's talk about you wanting to stay with the party. You're not the only person who's going to run the party.
Of course.
The other officials of the party are all government officials. So how is it that because you're the chairman, you don't want a government job, but the rest of the other people who run the party are government officials?
What's wrong with that? Firstly, what's wrong with that?
So there's nothing wrong with officials.
It's not contravening our party laws.
I get that. So let me ask this question: If there's nothing wrong with that, why are you making it appear like running the party is a full-time job that you want to stick to, and the rest of the others are all government employees?
No, I said I go to the party twice. I take care of my own personal business.
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, I go to the party headquarters. I was doing my own things before I get into politics.
In other words, there's absolutely nothing wrong with even the chairman being a government official.
Well, if a chairman wants to be, what stop me? I mean, I work for the team. If I want it, I can take it. What's wrong with that?
Good. So
it's my personal decision.
I come back to the point where there's a line between the party and the government.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, the party is supposed to serve as the guardians for the government because it's the party that brought the government to power.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be people at the party who, when the government goes wrong, for instance, they can call the government to check. Now, if all of you attempt to be government officials, who checkmates who?
Let me give you this. Any of our party officials in government, if they proceed wrongly, involving corruption, do something, Luther Tarpeh will be the first to edit.
Now it's only you. The rest of the others are all government
officials. I represent the institution. I can tell you, the party does not hinder anyone who wants to take a part, a government official, title, or role in the government. Nobody hindered that. It's my personal choice. It's my personal choice. And I tell you, the secretariat is running. Every other thing is running. We're having our NCC meetings. Our meetings are still going on. We put in the evening, and when I'm there Tuesday, Thursday, then leaders come. They're still part of it. So please, it's not. The party does not pay anybody. No one gets salary for anybody. So if these people are educated, they have ability to contribute to society and help their government. What's wrong with that?
Finally, from my end, I know there will be, it ties into a lot of issues. The turn new conversation starting up. What's the Unity Party's agenda? I know you see critics say you're witch hunting, you're going after people, you're clearing people who are legitimately occupying in their positions. Or this is not rescue, this is after people. Starting up with your visit to NASCAR. What actually happened? Why did you go there?
Well, in my capacity as a chairman of the party, whenever a leader has been mandated by the president to go and perform a function in any sector of the public service, it's a tradition that the chairman of the party will accompany whoever. I did that to Amos Twe, Mo Ali, all these different, leaders of the party. And so I was at NPA for the meeting with the MD. And then I got a call from Councillor Cannon that he has a letter to go there. And so, Chairman, will you kindly come and join me? It was difficult to say no to him because this is a man who fought all of our cases in the court, post-election cases. He fought all of that without a penny given to him. I own it to him because we could have paid him. We could have paid him for his legal services. But I felt the least I could do was to accompany him. We got there and then they said, "Oh, you can." In fact, someone said, "I don't even know whether the letter you brought is even correct." And I said, "Look, you seen the party chairman here? They're talking about letter correct." If you think you have problem, no, go back to the mansion. And so we stood up. There was no contestation. There was no argument. The only thing I said about, are you doubting that I'm here, Senator Moyd is here, Senator Botokana here?
So what letter was that?
It was a letter of going and becoming the ROC officer in charge.
It was the same day you were carrying the letter? And the same day, I don't know. I'm confused about it.
What are you confused about, Kevin?
To serve as
If the
officer in
president
charge?
is saying that I'm sending the president to be a look, let's get this thing straight. Why the tender thing is legal issue that need to be protected. This is a new administration, and there are some key areas. You want to tell me that?
No, we'll come to that. I want us to stick to the NASCO issue. There is a head of the institution. What is the?
We carried the letter. The letter was that to work along with the team that is already there. Because we have to have boots on the ground. You can't take over.
Van Bommel is in charge.
Yeah, but
is he incapacitated?
No, it's not what we're saying. We are aware that Van Bommel is on medical leave. I mean, we empathize
for how long?
I don't know. It's a medical issue. No one knows. Only God determines. And so we thought it would be good that to have boots on the ground as a new government, to have somebody there.
I don't know. But he should be able to state that he would be out of the country or out of the job for. I know he's in the States.
I can't speak to that. But I know he's been out of the country for months. How can we be a ruling government taking over, and there is no one person from our end, from the government, to be among those who have been there to see how the operations of the
Unity Party or the organic the person who's next in line should be in charge.
That was not a coup d'etat. It was to get boots on the ground as a government to understand why we're going there, because people, millions of dollars are there. At the end of the day, the government will be responsible for that.
So there's a team there.
But we need boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground is a terminology. We need a presence to know, to report to us what's happening. It's true, but come on. We came from a very hotly contested elections. We came from that. We cannot throw all of that context away. We need a boots on the ground.
I'm confused right here.
I don't see any confusion. I'm ready.
So let me say at Prime FM, I'm the head. Mm-hmm. Next in line is Vesely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if I'm sick, or I wrote the chairman of the board that I'm out of the country, obviously the next person in line is Vesely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if the CEO, the owner of the company, wants to know anything, is Vesely he calls. Mm-hmm. So, but while Vesely is here, he brings somebody to serve as an officer in charge. If it is surrounding on the issue about information fetching or information getting, what's wrong with ascertaining those information from Vesely? I don't get it.
But there's nothing wrong with that. But we are aware. The president is aware that the head of that entity have been out of the country on a medical leave for the unlimited time. We empathize with him. Anybody can get sick. But as a government coming in, how do you expect us? NASCO is an important entity of the government, where you expect we're not going to have boots on the ground to understand what happened. Come on, Kevin, man. Like this politics. You cannot. We have to understand that we needed a presence. Nobody was going to take in. So the letter was, we sending this guy to be here in the meantime. He want to work with the team. That was not a takeover. But when we went there, they said, you had to, the lady brought a phone and she disrespected us.
She brought a phone?
Brought a phone. I can't.
Apparently she didn't want to get misinterpreted.
Yeah, well, she put a guy on the phone, tried to do. I said, you know what? We can't take over here. We only say, this man has been mandated the president to come and work with your team in the meantime. Because the leader that the president is supposed to work closely with.
And he just started the same day?
Is not. It was just a delivery. It was not. Did you see the key, man?
Why somebody from the office couldn't carry the letter and say, maybe as of Monday next week, Kelvin Deming will be taking over as officer in charge as NASCO. That whole team had to go. The senators.
What wrong with that?
It's concerning.
What concerning what? What's wrong with that, Kevin?
That's concerning.
If you've been sent somewhere to help be an eyeball somewhere, and your friend is out of your body chairman say, "My man, let me go with you." What is the constitutional crime in that?
If you don't want me in this position as a minister, all you need to do is just write and say, look, thanks for the time. We don't want you, the president.
There's nothing wrong with that. We were not removing them. We just they were scared.
Too many.
They were scared.
It was concerning.
They were scared.
Okay, let's go on to the turning issue. If people say you're witch hunting, you're after people's job, you you're disrespecting the laws of the land you're going after. We had a conversation with Madam Edwina Zakpa. Um, Initially, they took flight to court based on your initial action. The court ruled and advised you to do the right thing. They are not even gotten in office. You carry police people there. What is this? This is the critics believe that it is scary. It is concerning.
Yeah.
People believe that you're not rescuing, you're after people's job.
No. Look, when the court ruled, the president said he's going to respect the court. He was clear about it. If the president wanted to disregard the court ruling, all of the entities affected would have been, he would have sent people the following day. The particular entity of the NASCO. In fact, the court ruling said it was more of a procedural error. Procedural. He remained the president. And so, whether they have tenure or not, if the president sees something that is alarming, if the president sees something that is concerning, I'll use your language,